Hey, welcome back to the Vikings Playbook. Your Sunday starts here with us. And guys, we got another great show for you today. And I have with me a guest that you probably have seen from the Purple Dose with Hopes podcast. And that's no other than Kyle K Dub. Make sure that you're following him on social media. And again, his links, if you're not already following him, Mr. K Dub, go follow him. And at YouTube, we're making a push for them for 400 here, Purple Dopes podcast. Check him out. Him and Darren do a fantastic podcast as well, too, promoting Minnesota Vikings football. So make sure that you guys are tuning in. All right, guys. So I'm going to welcome him onto the stage. Kyle, how are we doing tonight?
What's up, Steve? How you doing, man? Excited to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. I did get some kind of an error, and you guys could tell me, somebody wants to comment in YouTube real quick, just to let me know that my link's working. For some reason, I got a link saying it's not working
Oh,
on my end, but go ahead and let me know in chat for some reason if that stream is working on your end or not. If somebody can in the comments. As always, guys, if you have questions for myself or Kyle, make sure that you throw them into chat. That way we can go ahead and answer those also. And I'm just going to go ahead and just shoot this out again, just in case. Should be working, but we'll see if it we'll see if it's working or not. T Bass says he's viewing it on YouTube. Okay, great. Awesome.
good to go. All
Good
right,
to see
perfect.
that. All right. Well, Kyle, so you're on the Purple Dose with Host podcast, and did you guys reach 400? I know we made a push today. Are you guys close?
We are closing in on it. We are not
Closing in
there
on.
yet. So if you have not gotten over there, we would appreciate any new subs from the Vikings fandom on YouTube. But we're getting closer.
Definitely make sure that you guys hit that subscribe button. Same thing, hit the like and subscribe button with us. Follow us on X, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And guys, if you haven't already, like I said, hit that subscribe button if you want a chance to win a certified
Let's go.
COA Jordan Addison autographed jersey. Vikes Playbook on YouTube. Once we hit 250, we're going to go ahead and we're closing in on that too. So once we
Let's
hit
go.
250, we're going to go ahead and give that giveaway. Do that giveaway. We got cool giveaways. I don't want to say what they are all season long, but you can't win unless you're subscribing to Vikes Playbook. So make sure that you're doing that, guys. And then fantasy football season is coming up. So I also do a fantasy football podcast, Fantasy 15 football.com. Make sure that you check that out. We also have the fan chat where you can converse with other fantasy football managers and our experts. We're doing articles all season long. Our cheat sheet's going to be coming out for you guys that are doing your draft here in August. And I'm excited for fantasy football. Kyle, I don't know if you do fantasy football, but I'm in several leagues. We also have one with a lot of our different social media content creators and some
Okay.
fans so that are mixed in there that will be actually featured in our Fantasy 15 podcast all season long.
Oh, that's
So
awesome.
exciting stuff coming up.
Yes, I do play fantasy football. I'm not as dedicated as my co-host Darren. I think he plays a little bit harder with his fantasy, but I got a league with some buddies from high school that we've had for 15 plus years now, and then my dad and I have done a league since Adrian Peterson's rookie season when he convinced me that a third round pick was worthy of this rookie out of Oklahoma, and hasn't let me down since. So he hasn't let me live it down since. So
Excellent. I saw Zoe's here with In the Zone Sports. Make sure that you check him out.
what's up, Zoe?
And Social Network, Brev. Did my computer
Yeah.
break? No, it didn't. It's just you're seeing two handsome purple guys on your screen, Brev. It's a lot to take in. I get it. T
Yes.
Bass, welcome in. He says, "Why do fans give players that were high ground picks a break their first year starting? People like Theo Jackson, they instantly say he sucks. Theo Jackson, we'll get into that too, but Theo Jackson, we'll see. He's going to be one of those players that is going to be fighting for a job and is going
Mm,
to be in one of those camp battles that I'm excited to see. But
for sure.
K Dub, any takes on Theo Jackson? I mean, he lost his job last year. He's going to come back this next year. in training camp, try to take it back, and
Remind me,
safely.
did he have an injury though?
He might have, but I mean, he wasn't playing all that
Just
well to
yeah,
start with,
no, yeah,
and
I think so.
Ward
Hey
came in
man,
and just kind of took that job.
I think you'll learn, man. With the dopes with hopes, we're always going to put our hopes in the Minnesota Vikings players to step up and do what we hope they do. But yeah, definitely a bummer when those high guys don't live up to what you're hoping. So
Jacoby Thomas, I really
I'm
think that he
super
has
high
an
on him.
opportunity to start this year unless Harrison Smith is coming back. So there's definitely some hope with that third round draft pick that we had in the 2026 draft. Bob Swede, welcome in. It's time, baby. It's time. And if you guys haven't been part of this podcast before, please make sure that you stay till the end because we're going to do a free card break at the end of the show. So stick around for a chance to win
Well, let's
live.
go.
Kyle, you can also join in with that as well too. And
Nice.
um, yeah, so we got a great show with you guys. And coming up, this is what we have on deck here. We got Vikings Gallagher and Chris Shawakis is going to join us next Saturday. After that, we got your co-host Darren is going to join us
Yeah,
from the Purple Dose with Host podcast, and then no other than Rap with the Purple
man.
Pocket podcast. Rap's going to be coming on. Actually, it's going to be cool because I'm going to be on with Rap. Plan is a couple days before the 15th, before I go to training camp. So I'm going to be at training camp.
Nice.
You guys should be seeing some live video from me when I'm there, maybe even some interviews. And coming back from that, Rap and I are basically going to talk about what I saw in the field. And obviously, we're going to have a little bit to talk about because we got a preseason game that plays earlier in the
Yeah, let's
day against
go.
the Giants. So that one's going to have a lot of stuff to talk about, a lot of stuff to analyze. So please make sure that you're tuning in. So some great shows, some great guests that we have lined up that are coming up. Let's just go ahead and dive into it. Our first topic that we have tonight for you, Kyle, we're going to talk a little bit about Chris Carter. So Chris Carter was recently on the NFL Network. He was talking, um, about, and I need to get rid of that here. He was talking about J.J. McCarthy and Kyler Murray and that quarterback competition. No surprises. We know that, he's not a huge J.J. McCarthy fan.
For sure.
He has talked about, you know, kind of before leaning towards Kyler Murray, but he definitely kind of did that again. How he talked
Hmm.
about how Kyler Murray, is going to, should get that start and how the guys in the locker room are definitely going to, kind of rally around him because, he talked about, his experience. He also talked about Justin Jefferson last year. He made the top 100 NFL list
Yeah.
with sub par QB play is what Chris Carter, said on there, and it's truth, and
We
talked about how that speaks to Jefferson's greatness. Now,
I I think
on this,
I
yeah, go
think
ahead.
subpar is being very kind from the great CC Chris Carter because we are like NFL history worst quarterback play is what we Jefferson was doing it with last year. So
Yeah,
so shout out to that subpar. I think that's being very kind to our quarterback play last year.
it definitely is, and I think JJ McCarthy knows that, and
Yeah.
he's worked on a lot. I'm looking forward to when I'm at camp taking a look at those mechanics that he's been working on that we heard about so much in mini camp. I'm excited to see how he's looking at improving his layering into the football at different levels, so it's not just that fastball. Sounds like he's worked on that some more, and that's improved. But
Yeah.
you know it's a quarterback competition, but I expect Kyler Murray, per KOC, it's a quarterback competition. I expect Kyler Murray with that veteran minimum to start, of course. And,
Hmm.
even on the Paul Allen show, and Paul Allen, a K fan, he wasn't in that day, but Chad Greenway was on the show and he was talking as well about Chris Carter and his comments on the NFL Network, and he agreed largely with some of the stuff that Chris Carter had to say.
Yeah.
I think a lot of those veterans in the locker room are encouraged by the sign of a Kyler Murray coming into that locker room that's had 87 starts and with his veteran experience. And yeah, Chris has said some stuff that I wish he wouldn't have said about JJ McCarthy. I wish that there was more support towards
Yeah.
JJ McCarthy. I mean, you can have your opinion that, you like to see somebody different, but while he's in the uniform, I'd like to see him support him a little bit more, I guess.
Mhm.
Rather than maybe some of the comments we saw last year. But
Yeah.
100%. I mean, it's fair to comment that he did not play well last year. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think Kyler Murray's going to get an opportunity to show that he's got some left in the tank. He's going to be fighting for that contract. And I think these two guys, I mean, I'm excited to see how every day gets analyzed and what it looks like. And I'm hoping that both of these guys look good in camp.
Yeah, I mean, how can you not be excited when both guys have something to prove?
Hmm.
Kyler Murray, he's fighting for his second chance in the NFL. He's going to get paid somewhere at the end of this season. Now, is it not going to be the big money contract, or is that going to be just a veteran contract, come be a backup somewhere? And then, of course, JJ McCarthy's fighting for his namesake as the quarterback one of the Minnesota Vikings that he kind of was gifted last year,
Hmm.
and we saw how that went. I think all Minnesota Vikings fans were hoping that this competition that we're seeing this year would have been the case last season. But for some reason, whether that was Quasi, whether that was KOC, they had seen what they had needed to see to give JJ McCarthy the nod. And obviously we saw how that went. And so I think, it's exciting as a Vikings fan to know that we have two guys who are out there with something to prove, something to fight for. And I think we're going to see the best of both of them. And regardless of the outcome, Minnesota Vikings fans should be excited that hopefully we're not picking the worst, the best of the worst when it comes to both of them. But we're truly going to pick the best quarterback that's going to be able to lead us into the 2026 season. So I love Chris Carter. I think a lot of the things that he says are spot on. I think some of the stuff he says is because that's part of his job, and he's a little bit can be a little bit loud and a little bit boisterous. But in the end, he's a Minnesota Vikings legend, and I think that he's seen enough balls thrown from different quarterbacks to know what guy's probably going to get the nod. And Kyler Murray, I keep going back to this, but Kyler Murray's not signing with a team for $1 million that he doesn't believe that he has a full shot at being the starting quarterback. So there's other teams he could have went to that I know he would have been the starter. So this whole idea that it is a competition, yes, but I think if it's an even competition, Kyler's probably going to get the nod over JJ.
T-Bass says Jefferson has never been the same since he got hit going across the middle and hurt. Um, yeah, I mean, when you take a shot like that, maybe takes a little bit to get back into it. But I would argue last year had a lot more to do with timing of the football, switching and rotating. We had three different quarterbacks that came in. In JJ McCarthy's case, he came in three different times throughout that season in different spurts. And when there's and Chad Greenway actually talked about this on Friday. You got to get used to the timing
Yeah.
from all these quarterbacks, the way that they throw the football, that spin rate, the speed that they're throwing, and that takes time. And I really just think when you're switching a lot of different quarterbacks, you're not getting the time in practice with these guys. I think that affected everybody. And obviously being accurate with the football that also helps. We had some drops last year, but I think some of that has to do with the chemistry between a quarterback and a wide receiver as well too.
Yeah,
So
I mean, let's talk about Justin Jefferson had 1,000 yards in a season when the Minnesota Vikings had under 10 yards total yards in one game. They
mhm.
went a game and a half without scoring a point in a game from Seattle to the second half of the Green Bay game to the Seattle game. Didn't score a point. And Max Brosmer started three of those games, and a hobbled probably shouldn't have been on the field. Carson Wentz started one, so four. So you're talking 75% of the season. We had games where the Vikings total offense was probably under 100 yards total. I mean, and he still got 1,000 yards. I mean, the dude can still play. The dude can still ball. There's no reason why, with a capable quarterback, we can't see the Justin Jefferson that we saw 2 years ago with Sam Darnold.
Absolutely. Our next topic I want to jump into, if you haven't seen it and if you guys haven't read it yet, I've been doing a series called Purple Vikings Purple Path to 53. And
Hmm.
every article I'm doing on the Purple Path to 53, I'm breaking down a different position group. So make sure that you check it out. And this is a great time to fit this in, guys. I also write for purpleptsd.com. My boy Brev that's online as well, too.
Let's
Check
go.
that out for more Vikings news daily, guys, to see what we're writing about. And
Hmm.
in Purple PTSD's latest article of Purple Path to 53, I talked about the running backs and the fullbacks. And we have
Hmm.
an interesting group to where, it's kind of some of the same from last year, but we also have some new faces in the backfield as well. So we thought that we saw the last of Aaron Jones when he got released, and the Vikings made some plays and tried to make some plays in free agency, and just nothing came to fruition. And I'm actually kind of glad about it. And
Yeah.
when I say that, is just because some of the options that we were interested in, like Kenneth Walker or Travis Etienne, were just
Hmm.
I feel like did we really want to pay $14.3 million a year for Kenneth Walker, or almost $13 million for Travis Etienne for 4 years?
Yeah.
I think I felt like New Orleans definitely overpaid for Etienne. I don't think he performed to well enough to get that kind of a contract, that kind of a deal. So I think I like what the Vikings did. Now in the draft, I really thought that we were going to draft a running back, and what I kind of thought from it, I think Jadarian Price was our guy,
Yeah.
and he got sniped early by the Seattle Seahawks, and I think in the third round, because there was multiple opportunities where we could have took any of those guys that were going out, and we
Hmm.
didn't. So what I think happened is we chose to go a different path, and by doing so, it was Demont Claiborne.
Yeah.
And we ended up taking him in the 6th round. I think he's got an opportunity to maybe see some playing time. But how I see it, and let me know, Kyle, to what you see it. But in my Purple Path to 53, what I lay out is I think that there's 4 of these guys that make the 53, and that's being your two-headed monster of Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason that we saw last year. Hopefully, a healthier Aaron Jones this year. Those
Yeah.
two are RB1, RB2. I really think it's interchangeable because Aaron Jones. I think this year, he was more the RB1 last year. I think it's more Jordan Mason's the RB1 this year, and you
Yeah.
see Aaron Jones is more as that third down back because he's that dual threat guy. Jordan Mason, short yardage situations, you see him. And I think that, potentially they mix it up. And I do think Demond Claiborne gets some opportunities, not only in this run game, but also on special teams where he adds some value. He does have 2 kick returns when he was with Wake Forest. He has some opportunity there on special teams to maybe wedge into Miles Price was a big punt returner, so
Yeah.
he I thought he did really well in kick returners, but I think Demond Claiborne, could push for some of that, or maybe
Hmm.
get some opportunities in there too. Doesn't hurt to have another guy on the team that's able to do some of that as well. And then, for your 4th guy, Max Bredesen, he's going to be that fullback with the departure of
Yeah.
CJ Ham. There really is a hole there to where Bradison played primarily tight end with Michigan, and I think that's really going to be the 4 that make the 53. I don't, I like Xavier Scott and what we saw last year in preseason when he was dangerous when he got the ball in his hands, through the pass and open space. He could really make some things
Yeah.
happen. But I think he ends up on the practice squad, and then
Yeah.
for the rest, I just don't think that there's room on this team on this 53 for any more than that. Any of
Yeah.
your thoughts on that, Kyle?
No, I mean, I think you're spot on with your observations there as far as the running back room goes. Unfortunately, I mean, it's a good problem to have, but it's a bummer because I think Xavier Scott really what was kind of lightning in a bottle for us last
Mm-hmm.
year in the times that we needed him to be. When he came in there and had to kind of work with Brosmer and had to work with JJ McCarthy. But I think for next season, I think you're right on the two-headed monster there of Jones and Mason. But I do think that Jones will be the number 1 guy just based on his reputation and who he is. But I think we're going to see Jordan Mason a lot more in the second half when it comes to those 3-4 yard pickups that we're going to need to really start moving the chains. So I think out of respect for Aaron Jones, he will be our running back number 1 in this season. But I do hope Jordan Mason is really willing to step up into that kind of ground and pound role that I think we were hoping we would have last year. Unfortunately, we were playing down so much last year, so we really didn't get to see, I think, the full extent of a Jordan Mason when we need yards, we need to pick up yards, we need to pick up first downs, move the chains. And I'm super high on Damon Claiborne. The more I watch his highlights, the more excited I get as far as what he brings. And I don't think he's going to need 15 to 20 touches. So I don't think he's going to cut into our running backs carries. I think it's going to be a 5 to 8 touches maybe in a game, or just possessions in a game where we try to get him the ball. But man, that guy, what he can do when he gets the ball in his hands in open space is going to be fun to watch. I think there's a chance as the season moves on that we see him maybe shifting a little bit more into Jones's swing pass, catching ability, because he is fun to watch. I mean, he's no Jamar Gibbs, but I think that comparison is fair just based on what he is able to do with the ball in his hands. And who knows, maybe in 2 or 3 years, he is the second coming of Jamar Gibbs for the Minnesota Vikings. But I'm super high on him. I was really excited with that pick. I think we got him at the right spot, and I'm thankful that we didn't jump in any running backs early or take a shot at any running backs, paying them, 10 to $15 million, just because KOC, that's not his bread and butter. And like, to pay a guy that much money to, and both those guys, I don't know if they're the strongest pass blockers, but we really need guys back there who can pass block, because KOC is going to be obviously a pass first coach. And to try to pay a guy $15 million to pass block, I think we could get a better deal on our hands and spend our money better elsewhere, which I think we saw, in the draft this year, which was obviously we want to revamp, get younger, faster on the defensive side of the ball, and bigger on the defensive side of the ball, which I think we did that.
So Kyle, I'm getting some messages, and Brev, I appreciate it. He's saying, Steve, you're not live on your channel. So I did have some issues with YouTube, and I thought I was live, and I was just live on your channel, Kyle. But
Okay.
I now have it up on my YouTube. It's now finally up. So I apologize for those of you that were waiting for it to go live. Thanks for some of you guys for
For
finding
waiting
that.
around.
But yeah, I'll have to re-upload this maybe after we're done to my channel, so we get the whole pod. But thanks, Brev, for scoping that out and relaying the message. I don't know, YouTube link issue.
Yeah.
X, it seems to be streaming fine, so I'm not
Well,
sure exactly what happened there, but glad that you guys were able to make it. All right, let's move on to our next topic. Purple Path to 53. That's going to continue. The next group that I'm going to be talking about is going to be our cornerbacks group. So make sure that you're looking for that on purpleptsd.com, guys. And before I get into the next segment, I have a couple more sponsors I want to make sure that I give a shout out to. And I'm going to start with this one. Vikings Playbook is brought to you by our podcast sponsor, That's Badass Wood Art. Go to their website and use code PLAYBOOK to receive 10% off on any products on their website. That's pretty badass. The Vikings Playbook podcast is brought to you by SportsLegendsUSA.com. Check out their website for all of your Minnesota Vikings legends, upcoming appearances, and signings. And remember to use code PLAYBOOK for 15% off in their shop for your favorite merchandise. Sports Legends USA, connecting sports legends with fans, one legacy at a time. So those are two really great sponsors that we have for Vikings Playbook. You're going to see the badass player of the game back with my pregame and postgame shows this year, so that I'm really excited about that. Go ahead and check out Luis's artwork at that'sbadasswoodart.com, and then also Sports Legends USA. As you saw, they're working with a lot of Viking sports legends, and if you want to go buy that Dante Culpepper and get your roll on with that bobblehead, make sure that you check out their website and their merchandise and their shop. Again, use Playbook to receive discounts at both of those websites. And thanks again to my sponsors for helping and supporting Vikings Playbook. All right, so moving on to our next topic that I want to talk about. You're really big into sports cards, and it's kind of funny because you and I did not connect initially on sports cards, and we've both been in it for quite a while. And And so, anyways, a lot of the content that you put out on your X has to do with sports card trading. So you're
Yeah.
you're a big fan of it, and just lately we've had Fanatics Fest that's going on, and I know you've
Mm.
had a couple of posts about it. And Fanatics Fest, for those of you that have not seen it, let me get rid of that one and add this one to the stage. There you go. Fanatics Fest. All right. So that's going on. And I want to talk about some of the differences between regular card shows and Fanatics Fest. I know you made some posts about this as well, too. We've seen that some of the stars that have been there, Tom Brady, of course, is tied into Fanatics. And, even Anthony Edwards made that shout out to LeBron. But,
Saw that.
we're seeing Fanatics Fest, Fanatics is really getting big into the sports card hobby, and just want to get some of your thoughts on the sports card trading
Yeah.
and how long you've been doing it. And let's just start with the Fanatics Fest thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think Fanatics Fest, really what I said, on X, and as you said, like my X stuff is mainly sports card related. I do post about the Vikings on there, but I would say my sports card, you know, content gets a lot more engagement on X, and then the YouTube stuff is more focused around the Minnesota Vikings. So, D Woods, what up? And yeah, I think Fanatics Fest for anyone who's looking for like sports card stuff, there's that there, but Fanatics Fest is more geared around the fan experience.
Mm-hmm.
So as you showed those pictures there, you're going to see athletes and celebrities walking around mixing in. But they have a lot more than just sports cards. I think if you were to show some of the pictures, like they have a collector's zone there, but then the rest of it is the fan experience,
Right.
whether that be fanatics spaces themselves for fan apparel and things like that. And then I think they do a lot of like fan competitions and celebrity stages and forums for athletes to come speak and share, as we saw with Logan Paul and Tom Brady and the second slap heard around the world after the Chris Rock slap. But I think that if you're looking for a fan experience, then I think Fanatics Fest is a great space for fans. And you don't have to be a sports card collector to enjoy a Fanatics Fest. Where I
Right.
think if you look at a card show, that's going to be geared more around, if you're a card collector. Now, when I was able to attend the National Sports Card Convention 3 years ago now, can you be a sports fan and enjoy yourself at the National? Absolutely. There are stages, there are athletes. I got to meet Brian Urlacher randomly, which was pretty cool. Really neat guy. Actually, that was
Yeah.
super fun. And there's content spaces there. There's memorabilia spaces there, but really the bulk of the National is sports card tables. And so I don't know that you'll necessarily be a bigger sports fan if you go to the National, but I think a Fanatics Fest would make you a bigger sports fan. And then vice versa, if you're a card collector, I think a place like the National or a sports card show would really kind of open up your eyes to how big the sports card hobby is and probably make you want to, buy a few more cards for yourself. So I think, and this is what I said, I can't remember who made a post about it, but I quote tweeted it. It's like, I think both spaces are going to exist for a long time because anyone who's like aware of sports cards right now,
Mm-hmm.
it's in the biggest boom that it's been in a long time.
It is.
You have more people, more kids, more adults getting into sports cards than I think even we saw in COVID. Part of that is the monetary, thought behind it, which I saw a post about the investment idea. But also, like, I think a lot of us 90s kids who were in that first boom of sports cards are now having our own kids, and so there's that nostalgia piece, but also that joy that we find in our kids ripping packs or getting into cards or sorting their cards or making their binders. And so I think there's space for both avenues. And I don't know why Fanatics is trying to push out the National or vice versa. If the National is trying to push out Fanatics, I think they're two very different spaces. I just wish they weren't 2 weeks apart in the month of July. So like
Yeah.
maybe you could
Space them out more.
afford to attend both of them, but it is what it is. I think Fanatics Fest is probably going to grow to where it's New York, maybe Texas, maybe Los Angeles. I think you'll see 3 Fanatics Fest
Mhm.
shows within the coming years where they're trying to do it in more regionally across the nation. Where I think the national is going to stay mainly East Coast, but then you do have the Dallas Card Show, and then there's a big show down in LA, Sports Card Show, which they do a really good job at like spacing those out, so you're not having to pick and choose between the different card shows. But yeah, I love it. It's super fun. Like it's a connection to my childhood that I didn't realize that I really needed. And when I was able to get back into it back in 2014 is kind of when I jumped back into it. It's been a super fun kind of way for me to stay involved in sports, keep sports relevant in my life, but also something I can do with my kids and build their love and appreciation of sports as well.
I think for some of you Vikings fans that have been looking to collect Vikings cards or that are just getting into it, it's kind of exciting because and I think you've done a lot towards that as well, Kyle. I've been posting some stuff on cards,
Hmm,
also on my social media, and I've recently seen more and more social media content creators for the Vikings now start to post things about cards lately.
for sure.
I
Yeah,
saw Skol Geek. He's now, I don't know if he got it from either of us, but he got into cards here lately and has been on a Dallas Turner kick.
man,
And
his
he's
Dallas
been
Turner
spending,
collection is getting crazy. It's getting
absolutely,
crazy.
he's been spending some money. And I've seen some other people. I can't remember who it was that, was it Cody? Maybe that I saw today that just pulled a really nice card, maybe his first Vikings pull or purchase. And so
Hmm,
more people are starting to get into it. And I think the exciting thing is, when you do things like create a Dallas Turner collection or uh, Justin Jefferson collection, you're doing it
yeah,
because you like the player and you like the card. And you
for
said
sure.
something on one of your tweets when you talked about, and I'm probably going to mess it up as far as word for word, but one of the things you said was had to do like with collecting the cards that you like and keep the
Hmm,
cards that you like and sell the ones that
they don't.
that you don't.
Yeah.
Is pretty simple for the hobby. And you
Yes.
can make some money in doing this, and some of it is just really luck, but I mean some of it is also making sure that you're buying
Yeah.
quality
Yeah.
products. So, talking about that, Kyle, what are some of the packs or boxes when you talk about fat packs, megas, blaster boxes, hobby boxes? What's kind of the stuff that you're into? What you think is quality right now for somebody that's looking to collect?
I'm always going to be hobby box first. Now, let me preface that with I haven't bought a lot of
Makes
hobby
sense.
boxes lately because yeah, it's
They're
things are just
expensive.
out of my budget at this point. But if you're looking for if you're looking for the big cards, the quality cards, like you're probably going to find those more in a hobby box than a blaster box. Now, one thing I do appreciate about the retail market is, man, there's something for everybody at a Walmart or a Target or a Walgreens. Or I can't remember what I saw the other day that was like a guy posted some places now selling sports cards. I want to say it was like a tire place or something. But I think that there's something for everyone if you're just looking to open and rip packs.
Hmm.
Now, if your thought is, I want to get some payback, I'm always going to say buy singles. Like find who you want to collect and
Yeah.
collect those cards because if you're chasing Justin Jefferson in a product, you're probably going to pay a lot more if you're trying to rip a
You
pack.
are.
Now, is it fun to open up a pack of cards and get a Justin Jefferson, or like my son just for his birthday got a blaster box of Prism? Is it fun for him to get a Jordan Addison? Yeah, like that's super fun. However, like you're paying $30 for a card you could probably get off of eBay for $2 or $3.
Right.
So I'm always going to be, find your player or your team and then buy singles, or buy sets, or buy bigger bulk lots from people, because it's just harder. It's harder, and there's so many guys in cards now, that you're probably going to end up getting cards of guys that you have no idea that they were even in the NFL or
Hmm.
in the NBA or the MLB or whatever. So MLB, I don't even try. Like my son opened a pack of a fat pack of tops the other day, and I'm like, I don't even know. They were like, rated prospects. So these guys aren't even like with a team yet. They're just, a
Yeah.
chance to play for a team. So there's just a lot more guys in baseball, I think. But football, it's kind of nice because really they do focus around either the rookies or kind of the main veterans. They don't have a lot of, like, back when I don't know when you were collecting, Steve, back in the 90s, it was like Pro
Yep.
Set had linemen,
I
had
got pro
tight
set.
ends, had coaches, had a girlfriend. I mean, it just had anyone and
Yeah.
everyone that they could get a card for. So nowadays it's a little bit more fun. Your chances of getting a bigger name card, now it might not be an autograph or a numbered
Hmm.
card, but chances of getting a guy that you would know are a lot higher in football products, I think.
I actually just sold a 2003 Tom Brady in a PSA Gem Mint 10 today
Oh, wow.
online. So I got at least a sale today.
Dang, congrats.
Some of the comments that I'm seeing on here, I gotta address this one. Tech Jedi challenge accepted. He spelled Tecmo wrong, so I'm feeling confident. So on the NES, Mono a Mono, let's go. I love that stuff. Tech Jedi, it's on. Bob Swede. I also have a signed, pretty sweet Tony Oliva card
Oh,
that I
wow.
should show you. That's pretty cool. I don't have it with me right now, but K-Dub and I are going to get in some Vikings cards that we think are pretty cool on here.
Yeah.
I want to give a shout out to some of the other guys that joined here too. If you didn't already see it, now that you've migrated over, maybe. But Norris D Woods, Tech Bob, Zoe, thanks for joining as well too. Mythic Plague. I appreciate you guys jumping on. I know Mythic Plague. You talked about getting John Elway's signature on a napkin. Man, I got some John Elway slabs. I would love to
Let's
have a
go.
John Elway signature. Now you talk about Tecmo Bowl. There's Tecmo Bowl cards out there in Topps
Hmm.
Chrome that are pretty sweet too.
Yeah. They're new. I don't know if they're a case hit or a
Their case hit.
one per
SSP. Might be
box.
an SSP.
I
But
think it's
anyways,
one
yeah.
per. I think it's one per box. But yeah, those are pretty sweet. The Tecmo Bowl ones.
I don't know if they're like one per case. I think is maybe the
Oh,
Tecmos.
maybe
They're
a
pretty
case hit.
rare.
No, there might be a one per.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
might be a case hit. But the
yeah,
Tecmo Bowls are really sweet. There's people that are chasing different things, so it doesn't always have to be Vikings. It can be people are chasing
yeah,
uptowns are really
yeah,
popular. Downtowns are really
yeah,
popular. Kabooms. I've sold a couple of
yeah.
kabooms here lately too.
Hmm.
Some really cool cards. But Kyle, we're gonna show some different cards in here. But I mean, just an example. I mean, some different things that actually I'm probably going to be doing some giveaways this year. Not necessarily this
Let's
card, but
go.
whether it be signed
Okay.
immaculate Jordan Addisons
Hmm.
or whether it be going old school and going back to gold numbered Chris Carter's.
Ooh, I like that one.
It could be. Let me just. I got quite a few here laid out. I'm just gonna go through a couple, and I know K Dub has some cards to show too.
Yeah.
Here's a numbered to 18 for number 18, Justin Jefferson, autographed on the
Ooh,
Contenders.
let's go.
That's a pretty cool one.
Dang.
Um, Case hit Justin Jefferson, the Sunday Kings. I really
Ooh, I
like the
like
look
that
of
one at
that.
Optic. Yep.
That's a pretty cool
That's
one.
cool. That's cool.
Ty Felton, I'm hoping he shows out for me because I got a lot of Ty Felton on a tie-dye.
Ooh.
Tie-dye rookie
Is
card.
that out at 25?
This one is out of 25. Yes.
Yep. Tie-dyes are cool, man. They're really
Tie-dyes are
neat.
pretty
Yeah,
sweet.
really neat, very short print.
And actually, this is a really cool one that I pulled here not too long ago. This one's out of 50, but I like the look of it. And this is another Ty Felton
Ooh,
that's
yeah.
really sweet out of Topps Chrome.
Yeah.
Justin Jefferson, slabbed cards, the honeycomb,
Ooh. Yeah.
9.5, Justin Jefferson.
Now, if we had some card collectors in here, I would probably, stir some feathers, but that grading company that you just showed,
Yeah.
SGC, my favorite case. I love it.
So,
I just love the look. It's clean. I like the black and white.
yeah.
I know it's not PSA is where the big dollars are. I'm actually,
But
if you
PSA
want to
has
get
issues. They're
if
not
you want to
doing
get some
bulk
real
orders
shade,
right
man,
now,
I am
too.
not a fan. If you want to get some real shade, man, I'm not a fan of PSA slabs. So, but that's my SGC is my favorite look. I like the old Beckett ones too, but I think SGC is just super clean, the black and the white. I call them the tuxedo. It's got their tuxedo on, man. So
I got one more here that I want to show, and that goes out to Chuck
Yeah.
Foreman on the on card auto too. But you brought up something, and that's actually a good point. So those of you that got cards and you don't want you want to know more about grading, make sure that you do your research on which
Mm,
grading companies you want to go for. Obviously, when it comes to purchasing, everyone's got their preference. Like Kyle mentioned, he
yeah.
likes and prefers maybe SGC. There's
Yeah.
individuals out there that like PSA because that's the known brand, if you will. That's
Yeah.
the Nikes, if you will, of
For sure.
grading.
Yeah.
But at the same time, certain individuals think that hey, because it's graded by PSA, it's worth more. Not everybody thinks that way. There's some
Mm.
new companies that are coming in. I don't know if you've heard of Degree.
I've not.
Degree has they use an AI grading
Oh, it's
to
about
it, and
time.
some of
About
the
time.
issues that PSA has
Yeah.
been individuals sending in cards and getting some, at least from the comments,
Yeah.
unfavorable grading. I don't want to talk bad about PSA, but
Hmm.
they've had some issues with bulk orders lately, and
Yeah.
just the cost that it takes to send into PSA is
Yeah.
more
Cost
than
and
sending it
timing.
into
Yeah.
anyone else, right? Whether
Yeah.
you're sending into SGC, uh, a lot of the other ones, right? So there's a lot of
Yeah.
notable companies out there that still have good processes that are maybe a little bit cheaper than PSA
Yep.
that still hold the value. But K Dub, what are some of the cards that you brought to kind of show us from your collection that you want to show
Uh,
us?
well, my favorite Viking of all time is Chris Carter. And this is the first big auto that I ever got. Now, this is out of
What's that number?
25. It's out of
25. I like it.
25. Now, I got this before the COVID boom in cards. So make your guess what I paid for this card before everyone and their dog collected cards.
$18.
Oh, $30.
$30. I wasn't that far off.
Yeah, $30, man. I mean, it was a different time in collecting. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
there was not nearly as many people who were interested in it. And so you were able to get, back then to me, $30 was a lot to spend on a card.
Right.
And now it's like $30. Shoot, I'd snag that up in a second. This one's kind of cool. My son, he's a big Adrian Peterson fan. And actually the people of X have been super gracious to him. Like they'll get an Adrian Peterson card or something and they'll send it his way. So I snagged this out of his collection. This is out of 27, but it's interesting because the autograph is upside down. So
That's even
Panini,
cooler though.
yeah. So I'm for those of you guys listen, like I'm a big fan of cards with stories. Like the
Mm-hmm.
cards got to have stories for me to really like enjoy them. And so having a card of Adrian Peterson where the Panini flip the autograph around is pretty cool. This is one of my favorite patches that I have. John Randall, but the patch there is just so cool. Got the
I like
stitching in
those.
there, the two color.
Is that 25 of 25?
25 of 25.
Bookend. I like that.
Immaculate does a really good job with their on card autos. And then, the patch is just really cool. This one has a really fun story to it. So my dad is the reason I'm a Minnesota Vikings fan. He grew up in the 70s, loved, the Purple People Leaders. His favorite Viking of all time is Fran Tarkington. So this is a Fran Tarkington
Nice,
game use patch upper deck. Now, this is early autos and patches, so game used on card. Now, this is going to be funny for you, but guess what I traded for this card?
I don't know what you would have
Let me
traded for
just say,
that.
let me just say it didn't work out on my end as well as it worked out on the other guy's end. A Josh Allen 3-color rookie patch auto out of 50.
Josh Allen's pretty hot right now.
I have not even looked at the price of what that card goes for. I can promise you it's a lot more than this Fran Tarkington card, but
sometimes it's about collecting the cards that you like, right?
And I got that card, and to be able to like go to my dad and be able to be like, hey, check out this Fran Tarkington card, and him get excited about it. Like I could care less about how much money I could have made on a Josh Allen patch auto. This one right here is one of my personal favorites. It's not necessarily monetary wise, but it's Adam Thielen's Select Prism a rookie. Now, this is from 2016 um, Panini Select, which Thielen was a rookie before then, but he didn't have any rookie cards. And this is his first rookie card, and then it's the silver prism of it. And this is my only Justin Jefferson auto, but it's PSA authentic. I don't have an actual one like
I
you
like it. I
that's
like it.
certified, but I like it because it's the purple to
Yeah,
match
the purple.
the purple of the LSU. Um, and then I brought my biggest card in my collection,
Okay.
and this one is super special because a guy on Twitter, Kentucky Cards, Jimmy Mahan, who's become probably one of my closest friends, and I've only met him two other times in real life. We met through cards and through Twitter, but through COVID, I'm an educator, I'm a teacher, and I was just struggling, man. It was not an easy time to be a teacher. It was just a tough time in our world. And him and I had a lot of really deep conversations about it. And so randomly, he's like, "Hey, I got something in my collection." Now, this guy's collection is unreal. So I was like, "What is he going to send me?" But it was a Randy Moss rookie auto. So that's probably my favorite card and my best card in my collection right there is that Randy Moss rookie auto. And
Um,
he's in the 88 jersey, which is kind of fun. So
Now you're gonna have to remind me. So you help put together, or the card trading deal that you guys do every year. What's that called
yeah,
again?
rack mail day.
Rack Mail Day. So something very cool if you're into cards, especially Vikings cards. Check out more on what Kyle's doing on Rack Mail Day, and it's. Do you want to just explain it just briefly?
Yeah, so on Twitter, we have this thing called the rack, which is random act of kindness. However, it's not really random because usually it's intentional. And so once a month, there's a group of guys. There's actually several groups, but there's one that I kind of help kind of manage where we just surprise a random person with a really cool card, and then once a year, we all come together on what's called Rack Mail Day,
Hmm.
and everyone just finds a card or two or three in their collection, and then they send them out. And so then it's just like everyone, in our little niche of the hobby on X, is giving out cards, is getting a card, is getting a note of encouragement from somebody of why that card, they felt like that card belonged in their collection. So it's super cool. I think this year we had over a hundred people participate, and people did multiple rack mail day envelopes or packages. And so there was probably, I don't know, a couple hundred cards going out in the mail that week for people to open and be surprised with. So it's a pretty neat thing that happens, and pretty special piece to the hobby. I would say, like, where the hobby's going, I don't love, with fanatics and the takeover and the changes and kind of the big money, but the community is what really keeps me a part of the sports card trading world, and the friends that I've made and the connections that I have. It's pretty neat to be able to kind of do life with, or share life with, these people, because you collect the same guy or the same team or the same product or whatever. So yeah, cards are bigger than just a monetary value to me. They mean a little bit more. So
Well, Kyle, this isn't Rack Mail Day per se, but we do a card giveaway as well too. And
let's
I'm going to
go.
give you guys we're going to do a break here. But
Okay.
before we do that, I'm going to give you guys some time to get your guesses in. I want you in chat in YouTube, if you're following me on YouTube. So you need to be following me and typing this out. You can't choose a player that someone else has already chosen, but go ahead and type in an NFL player because we're opening an optic 4-pack here. I need you to
Okay.
type in which NFL player you think I'm going to pull out of here. It could be a downtown that I pull, and it goes to you. So go
Goodness, that'd be
ahead.
something special.
I know. So go ahead and type in which NFL player you think I'm going to pull out of this pack. All 4 cards could be going to somebody. You get one pick. Go ahead in the comments. Go ahead and put your NFL player that you want to secure. If you take Justin Jefferson, someone else says Justin Jefferson, the first one to put it in chat that I see, that's who it's going to.
Mm.
Mythic played. You spelt Brady wrong, but I'm guessing you're going Tom Brady is where you're going, Mythic Plague. So go ahead and get your guesses in. While you guys are doing that, we're going to talk one more topic here. So go ahead and get your guesses in, and that's going to be Hitman. Is Harrison coming back? I think
Hmm.
that it's still going to happen. I think even just Chad Greenway on Friday with PA was asked that question about Harrison Smith and whether or not he comes back. And when I talked to Kyle Sloter when I had him on the show, he talked about, he went golfing with Harrison Smith. He thinks he still has that fire. He doesn't know if he's going to come
Hmm.
back. He didn't want to speak for him, but he thought that,
Yeah.
hey, he might come back sometime during the year, after a few games have been played to see what it looks like. And if this team looks like it has a chance, he may come back. He
Yeah.
talked about, how players don't really want to, especially veteran players, don't want to go through some of the mandatory mini camps and, you know,
Hmm.
even part of training camp, because those players, they don't necessarily, when they've been as long as Hitman, need all of that. Um, Chad Greenway talked about how he thought that even we could see an announcement from Hitman during training camp. We could
Hmm.
see him coming back. So that could be a thing. So it's something to look out for. And I put out this post, and I know you gave your answer, but we're going to talk about this anyways.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to see some of the responses in chat. But which group are you sending on a jet to Knoxville? Farvesk to go
I love
convince
that.
safety Harrison Smith to go put on his pads for one last ride in 2026. The options I gave earlier in the day were A, Justin Jefferson, Andrew Van Ginkel, and Josh Metellus. So in that group, you got your star wide receiver, the face of the franchise, Andrew Van Ginkel, who's a fan favorite at edge,
Hmm.
and then you got his guy Josh Metellus in there, as well in the A group. In B, there's an argument to be made that the reason why Harrison Smith would come back is because of the starting quarterback, which I think is going to be Kyler Murray.
Hmm.
So that's going to be part of the reason why it changes his mind that, hey, I need to come back because Kyler Murray has told me, like, hey, we're ready to rock. We're going to do this thing, but I need you, Hitman.
Yeah.
And Jordan Addison, part of that group, again, one of the wide receivers that's going to come back that's played with Harry. And then, of course, one of your leaders on defense, Blake Cashman, a vet
Hmm.
to kind of talk to him on the defensive side of the ball and convince him to come back. And then C, you got a budding star on the defensive side of the ball in Dallas Turner. You got your longtime captain, who's been probably the most consistent player other than Harrison Smith during Harrison Smith's time here in Brian O'Neill. And then another leader on the defensive team, and at least one of your highest played defensive players in Byron Murphy Jr. And just talking through this, and I know KW, you gave your answer earlier, but you want to talk about your answer and why?
Man, you got like the way you explained it, Steve, is making me second guess myself just a smidge here. Um, I went with A, simply because I think Justin Jefferson is the leader of the Minnesota Vikings. And I think if you are making a play for a guy to come back and be a part of your team, he's got to be in the mix. Like, he is our captain, he is our guy. Van Ginkel, I think, is very similar to his play style and just attitude on life that Harrison is. Super humble, super quiet. You don't hear a lot from him. And I think that Harrison would appreciate a voice like that speaking up. And then Joshua Metellus, I mean, to me, he's been the backbone of our defense. He's a leader. And so I think that those three would probably be my guys that I would want to send to convince. However, if I can make a trade for mine, I would trade Metellus for Brian O'Neill in there. I think you made a right point there with Brian O'Neill being just the backbone and the staple of our offensive line. For him to come to speak to Harrison would be a big thing. And so I'm going A. But you definitely made me think otherwise. I didn't go B because I don't want Jordan Addison going anywhere where he can have too much fun. So I
I mean, the
think
right answer is we get all these guys on the plane and everybody
absolutely.
goes and gets them. But obviously, if I tried to make this a little bit more difficult. It's
I think it
always
was
tough
good.
when you put Justin Jefferson in there. But
Yeah,
yeah, I think Kyler needs to be part of that group. I think
for sure.
Justin Jefferson's got to be there. His guy Metellus should be part of that group. I think Brian O'Neill. Those are a core individuals that I think that need to be part of going to get Harrison and saying, hey, one last ride, one last time. We
Yeah.
need you to put on those pads and come rock with us one last time. And I think as a fan and Harrison Smith is one of my favorite Vikings. I, like you, grew up in the era where, CC's my guy. Chris
Yeah,
Carter's my
yeah,
guy. Childhood growing up, Harrison Smith's right there with me. John
for
Randall,
sure.
some of my favorite Vikings of all time. Randy Moss, and Justin Jefferson's getting there as well too.
And if
But
you're a card collector, the defensive guys are always cheaper than the offensive guys. So I
yep.
encourage, if you're looking like, where should I go with my Minnesota Vikings? I'm trying to convince my youngest son, who's just getting into cards. I've been trying to be like, hey, just think about defensive guys. No one collects those. And but I think Hitman will come back. And I go back to when he had his interview after the Rams playoff loss. I don't know if you remember that, and he was so disheartened and so heartbroken of the loss, not because they lost, which is because, like, that's going to happen, right? There's always a winner,
Mhm.
there's always a loser. But he was so heartbroken because he was like, what this team created was something special, and I'm really going to miss that. And I think last year he came back in hope that he
Right.
would be able to have
They
that,
can
and it just
recreate
didn't.
that.
Yeah, it just didn't pan out. But I see potential for this defense next year to be that good and to
Mhm.
have that. I mean, you got younger guys coming in, Caleb Bakes, you got Orange, you got Jacoby Thomas, who could be kind of like a under Harrison's wing. I just think there's a lot of signs from this team, this defense, coming into the next year, that this could be a really special defense to be a part of. And as you said with your interview with Kyle, like, and he alluded to, like, there's still that hunger in Harrison to finish the right way. And they didn't finish the right way last year at all. The year before that, there was a little bit of a letdown. And I think he'll give it one more this season. But we're all on his clock. And so maybe, like you said, maybe he'll say, I want to see how they start and then I'll decide. I think it'd be great if he could be there, at some point during training camp, just to kind of work with Jacoby Thomas. I think would be a great, he'd be a great mentor for. And then just, I think it would get our defense really excited, which I think our defense is already excited. So to amp them up even a little bit more would give them that little edge there to maybe crack the top 3 defenses in the NFL.
Yeah, I think he really wants to see who our quarterback is going to be. Most
Yeah.
likely Kyler.
Yeah.
But I think he wants to see how that's gelling, and that guys in that locker room are going to be talking to him and are going to
Oh,
be
for
telling him
sure.
how training camp is going, how Kyler looks, and I do think that's going to have an impact. So we'll have to see. I hope we all get to say goodbye one last time on
Yeah.
the field to Harrison Smith. I don't think I was ready in that Green Bay game last year
Hmm.
to really say goodbye to Harrison Smith. So I hope we can see him one last time. Now, K Dub, here we go. We're going to
Let's
do
do
it.
it.
I'm going to run through the names here real quick of who I'm tracking. Norris
Okay.
Vias, you need to give me a player, not a team, buddy. So go ahead, Norris. Go ahead and throw that in. And Jeff Wilson. Okay, Brev. Tom
Oh,
Brady.
Jeff Wilson, content creator, sports card content creator, sports card investor. So, all right.
I don't think that's going to be in there, but
Doubt it.
you can give
Not
me
a
a
top
different
product.
one, Brev, if you want. But TB12 for Mythic Plague, he's taking Brady. Bob
Yeah.
Swede's taking Baker Mayfield.
Let's
I
go.
just I just pulled a Stars Baker Mayfield optic pack for somebody. I
Ooh.
do shows as well too, card shows. I
Oh,
just pulled one
nice.
for somebody here. Bayshall Tootin is who Brev
Okay.
went to. Okay. TJ PDX is going Drake May. Drake May. All right. And then who else? Who else on here? Caleb Banks is who Norris is going for.
Well,
Uh,
that's
Norris, go ahead and
unfortunately,
pick a different one
yeah,
because
unfortunately,
he's
he's,
not going to
he's
be at
not going to be in here yet.
2025. Yep.
As fun as it'd be, he is not going to be in there yet. Wait till next season.
Yeah. Norris, go ahead and give me another one here real quick, Norris. And then Kyle, do you want to throw your hat in one?
I'm going to go Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson. That's probably a pretty good one. That's coming from a guy that's pulled a pack or two. Norris, give me a different guy. A rookie that just got drafted is not going to be in a 2025 pack. So somebody that played last year in 2025 would be in here. So I'll give you an opportunity to pick one more player here real quick before we do the rip. While you're thinking about that, Just real quick for you guys, make sure that you're tuning in, subscribing, hitting that like button. I appreciate it. I apologize that we had some YouTube issues on my end connecting to start the stream. Get that fixed. I'm not exactly sure what happened there with StreamYard
Mm.
and YouTube, but if you haven't seen it, guys, go ahead, make sure that you are hitting that subscribe button. That way that you can win that free Jordan Addison jersey. Please
Mm.
make sure that you hit that subscribe, because there's going to be giveaways throughout the season. You can't win unless you're a subscriber. So please make sure that you're doing that. And I think we're ready to go ahead and do the rip now. So who did we get? Stafford. Okay, awesome. Let's do the rip here,
All
K
right.
Dub. K Dub went with Lamar Jackson. Let's see if he's lucky on his first time. So let's go ahead and then do the optic pack rip.
It's always fun to see how people rip packs, man. Everyone's a little different.
I've had a couple winners since we've been doing this that they pick players out of one-on-ones. We usually do teams. So I got to turn the pack here now for you guys. So very first player that we're seeing, usually the inserts that you're looking for don't come right at the beginning. So we got DeAndre Hopkins here on the
D-Hop.
first one. So D-Hop. Ooh. It's hard to see on the camera and the color here. There we
It's
go.
a San Francisco rookie.
It's a San Francisco rookie. That's Curtis Rourke on the hollow. So that's not encouraging, because that's probably our big card out of this 4-pack optic. We got
Devin Hester.
Devin Hester.
Man. Is that
And we
Amon-Ra?
got Golden Tate.
Golden. Oh, wow.
Golden
A lot
Tate
of
on this
veterans in
one.
that pack.
A lot of veterans in this one. So unfortunately, we didn't have anyone pull that out of this one. And the one hollow that we had was Curtis Rourke, which
I couldn't even tell you.
Not a great
Couldn't
one.
even tell you a single thing about that guy. Guessing he's not in the league anymore.
Yeah. So, but we'll be doing different fun packs like that.
Love it, man. I love it.
You know, another one that I just ripped on one of my shows that I did. I just ripped somebody a hollow or a refractor, if you will, Ashton Genty. So I mean, names like that can pop up on a rated rookie. So you know,
you got to be careful. You got to be careful with the '90s collector throwing around refractors, because I always call them prisms, or hollows is another one. But refractors to me is always going to go back to those '90s, because in the '90s you either got the base or you got the refractor, and so refractors were definitely a special place in my heart.
Yeah, and it's whether you're dealing with tops or you're dealing with Panini, you know. So Panini optics, they call them hollows, and if you're dealing with tops, you know, those are refractors. You know, so I do like on the Topps Finest, I like that on the back of the card they put refractor on it if it's a refractor card. I wish that they would just have the name and the nomenclature of every card somewhere at the bottom.
Gotcha.
That would be my, like, somebody in marketing, if they saw this, like, that's what you should do.
Fanatics, listen up. Listen up.
Instead of having card collectors go search for it, well, what kind of card is this? Is this a blue lava? Or is it just a true blue? What is it?
I agree. I agree with you on that one. I know exactly what you're talking about.
You know, so that's sometimes tough. So 250 is when we do that Jordan Addison giveaway, guys. Looks like we're close to 200. The only way to get to 250 is keep sharing this to some of your friends. Make sure that you're retweeting it, you know, sending the link out. That's how we're going to get there. And then we can do the Jordan Addison giveaway. And then we can get on to the next giveaway that I'll be doing. That I have different jerseys. I will say helmets are to come.
Okay.
And I've already let you know that cards will be in the future as well too. So make sure that you're hitting that subscribe button. It's going to be exciting. I want to thank Kyle K-Dub for joining us. Make sure that you guys are subscribing to not only him on X, but that you're also going out and checking him out on YouTube and the Purple Dopes podcast, which some of you guys joined earlier this morning as well too, which is also streaming. So make sure that you go check it out. Kyle, I want to thank you so much for joining us and being on. Any last words that you really want to shout out to people?
I do, man. Number one, thanks so much for having me. It's I love this Vikings community. It's been super fun over the last year as we've been doing the Purple Dopes with Hopes podcast to really connect with the different Vikings content creators. And I think the Vikings community is one of the most accepting and welcoming from you. You know, I saw Brev, I saw Zoe. I know you mentioned Rap, and many more guys that we've connected with that have just kind of embraced us and brought us in, even as a smaller channel. You know, welcome to share our stuff, be a part of what we're doing. So this community is really special. And I just want to say one thing in regards to the quarterback situation for the Minnesota Vikings. We just want to win. So whether it's
That's right.
JJ McCarthy or Kyler Murray, I do not care. The Purple Dopes do not care. We want to win. And so whatever quarterback is going to make this season a fun one to build content for, not having to search every week to try to bring the hopes, but just give us hopes every single week that this team could be something special. So whoever it is, just give us a win. Just give us a winner. That's what we want.
Kyle, I think that's one thing that I have this year is hope. This year, I think no matter who it is who's playing this year, most likely Kyler to start the season. And I say that because we'll see if he plays an entire healthy season. I do think that we'll see JJ McCarthy, but I think both of these guys are going to be a better version of what we witnessed in 2025.
Agree.
And I think that makes this team dangerous. I think our offense is better than what it was last year. Our defense, I think we still have some questions out there, but we still have Brian Flores and some really good pieces on there on the defense. And I'm hopeful that this team is capable of being a playoff team in 2026. And all you got to do is get in the playoffs and anything can happen. That's for
Absolutely.
sure. So
Absolutely. Keep doubting us. Keep doubting us. Keep putting the Vikings in the lower half. Keep doubting us. That's where we want to be. So we can stand up at the end of the season and say, look what we did.
I'm not quite at this is our year, but I will say that week one, I just told Rev Trev, NFL Packers fan, I told him he's going to be 0-1 to start the season.
Let's go.
That's happening. We're going to go get him, especially early without Micah Parsons. But
Absolutely.
I want to thank and give a shout out, just like Kyle said, we have one of the best communities out there for sure.
For sure.
We have great fans. And I want to thank all you guys that came out to support me and support Kyle on today's podcast. So definitely appreciate that. Make sure that you hit that like button. And until next time, guys, this has been Vikings Playbook. Your Sunday starts here. Until next time, guys, this is Kyle and Steve. We're out. Skol Vikings. We'll see you next week.